Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. You guys, have you been seeing these? They come apart and they're sticky, and you can place a botanical on there or a fussy cut. I think they're pretty cute. This is where I got my inspiration from. What I did was I took 2 envelopes and I put my botanicals in the windowed envelope. These happen to be my own botanicals that I dried from my garden, but if you don't have botanicals, that's okay. You can order some, or you can use some fussy cuts, and it would be absolutely adorable. Now I have a portfolio closure, I have some fussy cut butterflies, I have a tab right here, and I have some lace. Now let's open this up. I did choose to sew some stitching around my window, and it opens up like this. And then right in here we have a very large pocket. And I brought the theme throughout by using another one of those on my decoration, on my tag. Now you could put a page or two for journaling if you want, or there's a very nice big space right here that you can journal on. I did a little collage right down here, and I did emboss this envelope as well as the tab right here to pull it all together. So in my pocket of my envelope, I have another one of those. I just think they're super cute. Now placing this back in here, I'm going to push that down. We'll close it back up, and then let's look at this one. I'm not sure which one is my favorite, but this one has music paper in the back of this one, and it opens up and looks like this. And then the little tag is like that. And the tag, this one's even embossed. The tag is embossed. I did a lot of embossing yesterday. I was kind of tired, and I just was embossing everything I could get my hands on. And then this is this little tag. I think this one's so very cute. Music paper lined in here just to pull it all together. So let's go ahead and let's make one together. So what you'll want to do is get yourself a windowed envelope. Now I have already opened up my window envelope. I also copy dyed it, and I cut it down so that now it is 7 inches by 4 inches. Now it's going to be used like this. That's going to be the front cover. The larger area is going to be on this side because our envelope flap is going to sit right here with our closure mechanism. So when we decorate this with either botanicals or fussy cuts, you're going to want to remember that your design needs to go up and down. So let's take this and let's paste it upside down. Now, we're going to bring in, or I'm going to bring in, I'm going to get this so maybe you can see it a little better, some packing tape. And I'm going to pull this out to be about the length of the window. This is the hardest part, getting this packing tape off my finger so that it just stays here by itself. Yeah, that's the hardest part, guys. Oh, I did it. There it is. Can you see that packing tape there? Now, this packing tape, we're going to take it and we're going to stick it on here like this on the back. So that means that it needs to be face up. So the flowers need to be face up. Here are my flowers right here. And I'm going to take them, I'm going to just place them right on my packing tape. They'll stick right on there. And then I think I'd like to maybe do, let's see here. I need to lay it flat. There we go. And I might grab, I don't know, these might be too big. They seem to be pretty big. There we go. Let's see, how about if we stick this right like here? Uh-oh, I didn't want it to go there. I'm not very good with the tweezers, the pliers, or what do you want to call them? There. Well, it's pretty stuck right there. There. Okay, that's good. Not stuck to my finger. Okay, let's see, what else can we add? How about if we add one of these? Maybe right here. How about if we add a leaf? This leaf happens to come out of my garden that I dried. How about that? Now let's see, is this going to be enough, or do I need a little bit more? That's going to look pretty good on there. How about if we place this other one like this? We place it right here. There we go. All right, now taking my window, and remember I said I want it to be like this, so I'm going to open it up. I'm just going to stick this right on, just looking to see where I want everything, and laying it down and simply pushing it down so that the packing tape is now glued on, and we've got our botanicals now inside the window. Oh, look, we're going to need to cover our inside of our envelope. Let me put these away. I have a digital here. I think it's Roxy's creation, I think. And I would like to cover the inside of this envelope and have that shine through. I think that will be lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my glue directly, I'm going to glue this down, directly onto the inside of my envelope. And then over here, I went a little off there. Wipe it up with my finger. And then let's place this about right here. Now I am going to trim out my envelope. So I've got my scissors here. I find this to be the easiest way for me to do it. If you like to trim yours out first and then lay it on, then you should do it that way. But I have a problem trying to get it back the way it was. Never wants to go back the right way. So let's go ahead and trim this. All right. I think that looks wonderful. Now I'm going to let this dry for just a little bit before I go ahead and fold it. It is going to be white on the inside, so I am going to ink it up like this. You'll be able to see down in it just a little bit. It's a top-loading pocket, so just a little bit of inking, and that's probably as far as I need to go. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to bring in my other envelope. Now it's this size of envelope, and that is 6.5 by 3.5, and I have embossed it. But as you can see, I'm going to need to line it. So I've already got my paper ready. I'm going to look one more time. This goes like this, and we fold that other side, And this is going to go on like this. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when I turn that over, I'll know which end I want to put this in. I think I want it to go like this. And I'm going to leave that in and stick my art glitter glue down inside and glue my paper inside my envelope. Just like that. And then I'm going to trim it out. Okay. Now I did ink my item. I inked this up, so I'm going to go ahead and continue that, and I'm going to ink the inside. I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I fold it, and let's move on back to this. Actually, let's move on to our tags. Now, I've prepped this tag. I have sewn around the edge a couple of times. I've got some words on the front and coffee dyed on the back, and it's going to fit inside this pocket nicely. Oh, I do hope so. I hope I didn't make it too wide. And get it back out. I'm gonna make it too wide. Ooh, it's gonna be close. I'm gonna trim it just a little bit right now before I decorate it, because that's gonna be pretty doggone close there. There, it won't be close now, I don't think. I trimmed off quite a bit. So I'm going to round the corners again. There we go. And a little bit of ink. Now that's going to fit in nicely. I have got one of these, actually I've got 3 right here. This one, these two the same shape, this one's a different shape. I think I'm going to use this shorter one. I'm going to pop it right on there like that. I think that's going to be adorable. But we're going to need to have some more of our dried flowers. So the way this works is we're going to remove the outer piece. I'll look for my paper again so that you can see this a little better. This is the hardest part about this one, is getting these 2 pieces to come apart. There's Frankie Francine. Oh, goodness gracious. See, like I said, it is the hardest thing to get these 2 to come apart. I will fast forward this and get this. Yeah, let me get this apart. Hey, you guys, that was the hardest one I've done yet. Okay, pulling it apart, and that is sticky this side up. So we're going to turn it over to stick it on our tag. So that means that we need to place our flowers upside down. So I think I'd like to use this one. I'm going to put our flowers facing down. So the right side is down. I'm going to place it right here like that. And then I'm going to bring in a butterfly. I think that would be fun to pop a butterfly on there. I've got a small one. I've got 2 small ones right here. Well, let's use this lighter colored one. I think I'm going to put it right here, but remember, Cathy, the side that we want, I don't want that to be here, more like that. Because when we turn this upside down, let's bring in our tag. We turn this upside down, yeah, it'll be so cute. I'm going to move this away. I'm going to line this up. I'm going to stick this on here. Maybe something like that. Oh my goodness, is that not adorable? That is precious. Can you see the, well, I can in real life. I can see the outline of the little container. Let's go ahead and let's fold our envelope. You can fold it now. And I'm going to ink the fold. Okay. Let's make sure it fits in there. Oh, how cute is that? That is really pretty in there. All right, so let's go back to our windowed envelope and let's fold it. Okay, and then let's fold it here. You know what? Where's the flap? What happened to the flap, Cathy? Okay, we're gonna need a little piece. We're just gonna fix that flap by putting this on there. The flap got stuck with that packing tape. I did notice that, but I didn't know anything I could do about it. It was already stuck on that packing tape. So, in case that happens to you, see, we gotta fix that right down there. We can do that by just adding a piece, just like that. We'll just add that in. That'll be fine. So I'm going to ink this up on this side. And it does feel like it's nice and dry. So we'll be able to put our little tab punch in. And I think it also would be fun to go ahead and sew around the edge of the window. So before I glue everything shut, I need to sew around the window, and we can put in our little tab punch. So let's mark halfway, and then this is a 1-inch hole punch, and let's just punch it right here. Uh-oh, of course, and now it's stuck. Oh goodness, I thought it was completely dry. Does that happen to you guys? Now I'm gonna have to bang it open. You guys, this is the second time I tried to make this video when I'm telling you I don't know what's happening. But yeah, there you go. It released it, but ooh, it's kind of chewed it a little bit. Okay, I show you everything, don't I, guys? Crazy things. But if that ever happens to you, I just hit the dang thing, and then it eventually will pop open. It was still too wet, and it felt dry. It was an illusion. It tricked me. Definitely tricked me. Okay, now, also, this will show. So I'm going to ink this up, because when we close this, that will show right there. Okay, so I'm going to sew with my machine. No, you don't have to sew, guys. It's just another layer. And we're just layering things. So if you don't have a sewing machine, it's perfectly fine. It looks absolutely adorable just like this, right? All right, so the reason why I chose to sew around is because I already sewed around all of my tags, and I wanted it to kind of be more cohesive. So it's time to glue our little envelope up and go ahead and add on our little piece so that it will, you know, look a little better. So all we want to do is add a little glue down the side like this and on the bottom, because this is the top and it has our notch in it. So I need to close this up, and so I'm going to use this to do it. And I think I'd like to go ahead and ink this up just a little bit. So inking it up. Not sure why Frankie's fussing. It has been a very dreary day. It's rained off and on. I think she feels the pressure change when the rain comes. And she definitely doesn't like any thunder. So let's glue this shut. I'm going to first add a little bit of glue right here on the bottom. Okay, shut that. Get it glued shut. And then I'm going to add this, and then I'll trim off the edge, the two ends. So actually that's pretty cute on there. Alrighty, give it a trim. Give this a trim. And then let's ink this up just a little bit right here and right here. All right, so now we've got that part. Let's make our tag that goes inside of this right here. Now I've prepped that as well, and it's right here. And it was wet right there, and it kind of got caught in the sewing machine, but it will be all right. And that, well, since I added that piece, I'm going to have to cut a little bit more off the bottom and the top of this, because I want my tab to go on there. I want to add a tab on there, so I'm going to round my corners again. And I'm telling you, this video just feels like I'm just floundering here. But these are so cute. I mean, seriously, I think they're so cute. And what a great way to add some botanicals. Now let's see. That's going to be good. Okay, that's going to be good. And a tab's going to go there, so that's going to cover that up. So we've got another one of these, you guys. Another one. And let's see how quick this one, will it come right off? I mean, just right, come on now, let's come right off. I'm talking to it, but this is the only part of these that, yeah, I'm not too thrilled about. Okay, I'm going to work on this. All right, I got it separated. Oh, and I just let go of it. Oh, for heaven's sakes. This is really getting quite exasperating. You would think since I just got it, it would do it again. All right, so I finally got it again. Lay this down. Once again, this is kind of the hard part because it sticks to your fingers. Grab a needle. There we go. Got that. Now I need to remember that I have to place my flowers face the front, face down. So like this. Push that on there. And then let's use another butterfly. This is a bigger butterfly, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. Hopefully it's not too big for this. Put it just like that. Now this time, because it's pretty, there's a lot of space there, and we're going to pop this onto that tag, the paper tag. I'm going to add a little bit of glue on my flower and on my butterfly. Turn it around, and we're going to give this going to place this down. What is that? We don't want that on there. Right on top like this. Now I need to remember that I have a tab, so I'm bringing it down a little further because my tab's going to go right here. And I cut my tab out. Now where on earth did I put it? Oh, here it is. It jumped out of my bowl. There. See, it covers up that part where I cut my stitching because I wanted to cut my tag to be smaller. This is going to cover that up. No one's going to know but you and me. And let's go ahead and pop it right on here, just like this. Super cute. Goodness gracious, that is so sweet. I don't know if you can see that jug or glass or decorative container. I can see it in there. Okay, that's perfect. Now we're ready to add our envelope right here. I want to space it so there's space here and here is about the same. That's really pretty. It's going to open up like this. Okay, and we might want to put a little decoration down here. I've got this, or I've got some labels, but let's first get this glued on. So adding my glue to my flap. And I didn't put the glue right on the fold because I want to make it so it's not going to bind. It's going to just open up and close freely. About right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Make sure everything, yes, that's going to be good. Now I'm going to bring this down a little bit. I don't want this to be so far, so close is what I'm trying to say. So I think I'd like to bring it down about right here. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark right here and I'm going to mark right here. That's a good, well, it looks like it's about a ½ an inch is what it looks like. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim this right there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave just a little bit so I can cover that spot. So I'm going to cut this right here. And then I'm going to leave a little bit like that so it'll cover that spot. So it'll look like that. So just a tiny bit of glue there will cover that area up. Okay, and now you can get into that pocket so much easier and you won't be struggling at all. Now, I have a lot of labels in here and hopefully I'll be able to grab one that I can add with maybe this fussy cut. I don't know. I think I'm going to trim this part off and just use it like this. Maybe something like that. Yeah, I think that will be sweet. So glue that leaf down first. And then glue everything down. Whoop, it's moving. Maybe something like this. Okay, I like that. I think that looks really pretty inside. So let's go ahead and put our closure on. Now I have circle punches and I have 3 1-inch circle punches from cardstock. I'm going to take 2 of them and glue them together like this, gluing them together, and then I'm going to take my sponge with my frayed burlap colored, that's the color I'm using, frayed burlap. Let's need a little bit more on there, and I'm going to do this one as well. I'm going to let this dry for just a second, but I am going to stick it right here because this is where it is going to go. and I'm going to bring in a little bit of lace. Now this lace is from a shirt that I purchased at the thrift store, guys. So nothing expensive here at all. Just a little bit of shirt lace. And I'm just looking for a piece that is talking to me. I'm not sure. I might have to cut myself some. All right, how about if we trim off maybe this bit? I'm not sure. We're just trimming to see what happens here. Don't really like the way that looked when we trimmed it. Let's try this. That's a little better. Maybe this way. Okay. Oh, okay. That works like that. I like that. And then, oh, I think that might be perfect right up there like that. Then I've got those butterflies, and let's take away a little bit of that white and put the bigger one down below and the lighter one up above. Mainly for, I think it will, the weight of the butterfly. Oh, that's going to be sweet. Let's tack this down. Now I'm using my Sure Bonder High Temp glue gun. It has that special tip. It came with that tip. I didn't add that tip on. And I'm gluing where the solid part of the lace is. That's where I'm putting the glue. And then just laying it back down on the paper. I'm going to do the same thing up here. Oh, sorry, that was my phone. I told you we're having showers and storms, and that was my weather update. Sorry about that. And then let's place, I think let's go this way. And I'm going to use my glue gun glue on my butterflies as well. Let's let this one go this way. And let's get that glue off of there. Like that. And we need to go ahead and add our closure. Now I've got a little bit of foam pad here, and I've got two very small brads in my dish. I'm going to place these together with the double one on top and the inking facing up. I'm going to grab my awl. I'm going to poke a hole in the middle of both of them. Hopefully it's going to go through both of them. Hopefully the glue is dried. There we go. It's through them both. Then I'm going to take my brad and place it through the hole. Get it to go in there. There we go. Open up the brad and press it back down again with the end of my awl. I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it right here. I want my stitching to still show, so I'm going to glue it right in that area, adding my glue to the back of my circle, pressing down. I've got some twine, and it's just regular twine. I don't know where I got it from, but it's just twine. But you could use baker's twine or very, very thin ribbon if you wanted ribbon. You just need to get some of this. I don't know which one I'm here. It's this one. Okay, and I'm going to pull it in this direction towards me. So I'm going to put my twine in between the two circles. I'm going to give it a knot like this, and one more. Tie a knot, and then I'm going to trim this off. I'm going to pull it in the direction that I want to go, and around that. Now, I really wanted to add some really pretty bead on there, like I did these right here. I've got some very pretty beads. And looking around, I don't even know where my beads went. I mean, this video. Oh my goodness. Here are my beads. Frankie's chirping. I don't know, guys. I hope you're enjoying it, because I really think that this is turning out super pretty. And I'm going to, yeah, she's had enough, hasn't she? She said, I've been talking to you for a while, Mom. I've had enough. Now, the holes of these beads are pretty small, so I'm just going to show you what it's going to look like. These beads, you just put your bead on there, and you're going to tie a knot first in your twine. So that's as far as the bead can go up. You place your bead on, and then you tie another knot, and then you take some liquid glue, white glue, school glue, and you glue the knot, so the knot doesn't come undone. But she's had enough, and I think we're towards the end. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.